heard all about it from friends.
Yeah.
Voice check. Hello, welcome back, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Alex Sandoval. I am filling in as Sergeant-at-Arms for Chirag. He's on vacation, the lucky guy. He will be back next Tuesday. This is meeting number 437, and I usually do some inspiration, so I wanted to share a motivational quote with you. It's actually from a Rocky motivational video on YouTube, and it says it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and get back up. That's how winning is done. And I really enjoy that one. It's something I try to live by, through all the adversities and obstacles that life throws my way. It's helped me out. So with that, we're a little behind schedule, so I'm actually going to just pass it right on to Tom, and then I believe we'll pass it over to our first-timer Toastmaster,
Ray.
Ray.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when we'll introduce the guests and the new members. So, with that, here's our fellow president, Tom.
Hi everyone. Everybody knows me except for our guests. My name's Tom. I'm sitting in for our president tonight. She was unable to make it. I've been president previously I had a year term. I really enjoyed it, so this feels comfortable to me. We have a fun meeting tonight. It's going to be a little loose tonight. We got a first-time Toastmaster here. We have a few people that are out with sick kids tonight, so it's probably going to be a little not quite as tight of a meeting as usual, but usually those are the best meetings, so let's have fun tonight. First off, I want to welcome our guests tonight. We have two guests, Iman and Daryl. Iman, please come up here and...
Already?
The
water's warm.
Nobody writes for free. Okay. No, we have fun. We have fun here. Everybody's friendly. So tell us who you are and why are you interested in Toastmasters?
For sure, yeah. So my name is Iman. I'm a software engineer by my career, and I'm a father as well. I have two kids, 3 and 6. And yeah, I think I felt like public speaking is one of those things I've always wanted to be good at, and just, I thought naturally I'd get there, but I think I need practice and help, and I'm not someone who's like maybe an expert in that stuff. So I have some friends who had been part of Toastmasters before and had always talked about it, and I just never ended up joining them at those times. And I now live in Los Gatos, so I moved here 2 years ago, so I felt like it's a good time to maybe see what's happening locally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's very good.
Great job on introducing yourself. I tell you, we have a lot of engineers in our club, and they seem to realize that there's a need for them to have better public speaking skills at work. I guess they're giving a lot of presentations and so forth, so that's the main reason that they're here. Also, we're a friendly group, so it's just fun to meet new and different people.
But
it took you 2 years living in Los Gatos before you finally showed up, so. Okay.
And I signed up with you guys I think 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay.
I keep seeing the emails, and I'm like, I want to go. And finally I made it work.
I'll tell you this, to be honest, the members that we see that make the most progress are the ones that come on a regular basis, okay? And when I say come on a regular basis, they participate too, so they just don't come. So the more, it's like going to the gym. The more you do it, the stronger you get, the more comfortable and confident and all that. So we encourage you to come and participate, and sky's the limit. So welcome tonight.
Thank you so much.
Our other guest tonight, a veteran Toastmaster, Daryl. This is Way's husband. Come on up here and tell us who you are. Now, we know you're Way's husband, and we know...
That's all you need to know.
Way's one of our newest members.
Yes.
But just tell us, you're part of Toastmasters already, so share some of your thoughts with our group.
Sure. Yeah, it's great to be here. It's taken me a little bit longer. We've been in Los Gatos for a little over 26 years, and I'm finally making it to this Toastmasters meeting. The Toastmasters group that I'm a member of is Wellness Toastmasters. It was originally meeting in Palo Alto, but since COVID, we've been meeting online, so it's 100% online. But since my main focus is health and wellness, that's why I keep going to that club. But as I mentioned, shared with Tom earlier, our club's Wade's been to a couple of our meetings. It's a little too loosey-goosey for her. It's not as regimented. It's we're just, making everybody feel comfortable. But it's nice to be here. I've heard a lot about this club. Wade's had nothing but great things to say, so.
And if we do a good job tonight, you'll consider joining our club.
Absolutely. She's trying to get me.
Oh, perfect. You'll be the second husband and wife group. We have Ray and Melissa, so there you go. Are you guys husband and wife?
Yeah.
Oh. After I said it, I thought to myself, let me check that. Wouldn't be the first mistake I made. Okay, so those are our two guests, and then we have our newest member, Melissa. Now, you've already come up here and told us, but come up here one last time and tell us, again, why you're joining, you're a school teacher, but in particular, where would you like to take your public speaking?
So, I don't have a clear answer to that yet, but I do believe the sky's the limit, and I know that public speaking is a great area to grow in and to gain confidence. Education and dressage are my bailiwick, which is our word of the day. So I'm not an expert in public speaking, but I've done little bits here and there with my profession, and being better at it would be great. So that's why I'm here.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll be giving a speech in 2 weeks. It's one I've given before. It's about public speaking, how it's a superpower, and that's something I really believe. When you think about it, if you become better at public speaking, 99.9 people are terrified of public speaking, and if you're that one person that can step up at a meeting and speak with confidence, people look at you and go, oh my gosh, how are they doing that? So it's a superpower. It's something that sort of keeps me coming back meeting the meeting, is to keep honing that skill and become better at it. So welcome, our newest member. Before we get going with the meeting, we have a opportunity to share any success stories. Now, these are maybe moments during the last week where we used our public speaking skills in a way that we want to share with the group. If you don't have success stories, maybe you have failure stories where you bombed with your public speaking and how you want to work on that. Or if you don't have any successes or failures, then we'll just move on. Rhea, do you have any success you want to share with us?
I could share.
Yes, please do.
Thank you.
I know you're quiet, but I know there's no success going on.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, my dear Toastmasters. I think I would like to share something related with our Toastmaster today. My successful, I think the story is, before I always, as I speak, I have a strong accent. I always tell people, if you don't understand my English, I could speak Chinese with you. That's better. But the things, when I was speak, I was getting so nervous. And I'm learning in the past year how to speak, how to invite, walk forward, then walk back, all these tricks or tips. Even, I think, bigger successful for me since last year to now, since I joined the Toastmasters, my aha filler word. So I was speak so much about the soul, so almost every sentence. Now I can go down for one, or maybe two. So that's one. I get agitated when I hear so much soul sometimes. I don't know if that's kind of successful or not. So that's my story, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, and without any further ado, we're going to have our first time Toastmaster, Ray. Come on up here, Ray. There we go.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, welcome. Have fun. Okay.
Thank you. All right, as Tom said, first time Toastmaster here, so bear with me. Today we have a speech from Wei, her icebreaker speech, and we have only one speech. And table topics will be done by Carl, and Tom will be the speech evaluator. And the functionary reports, timer will be Rhea, and the all counter will be Dan Wynn. and our grammarian will be Melissa, and the general evaluator will be Alex. Is there anything from?
Yeah, so ask each one of the functionaries to come up and explain their role. So start off with timer, Rhea.
Okay, Rhea, can you please come in?
My glass, so I can see.
And what's a Toastmaster's role?
He runs the meeting.
Okay.
The MC,
Yeah.
sort of,
Okay.
and it changes from week to week.
Got it, just want to make sure that's.
Yeah.
My dear,
Yeah, yes, just sorry, I just registered for speech, but I guess it was last minute. Probably.
I didn't see that, so it was last minute. Do you want to give a speech tonight?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Can-
Okay, so, Ray, put him down as speaker number 2.
Okay.
And
I mean, we
Daryl.
have time for that, of course.
Oh, we have time. And Daryl, would you mind evaluating, Alexi's speech?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So Alexi will be speaker number 2, and Daryl will be evaluator number 2.
Okay, great.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
If you need to split this one.
my dear Toastmasters, I'm the timer today. I want to talk about a little bit of timer. Respect the time is really important, and also the time is really important for every meetings or for anything you do. For me, I think the time is help me to more clear how to manage my business, manage my relationship, even the dating side have to be on time. I'm not sure about that. But I wanted to share today, I know we all practice, but be mindful about your time. So the speaker, as speaker, I think is 4 to 6 minutes with red, 4 minutes with red, so 6 minutes with green. Then with the yellow, the 30 minutes, this is 2 minutes, I'm first time be the time.
No, so, it'll be 5 to 7 minutes. She'll flash the green card at 5 minutes, 6 minutes she'll flash the yellow, and then at 7 minutes she'll flash the red. And then for the,
And elevation is 2 minutes. Green will be 2 minutes, yellow will be 2.5 minutes, red will be 3 minutes. Then table topic, green will be 1 minute, yellow will be 1.5 minutes, red will be 3 minutes.
Yeah, and Way's speech is her icebreaker.
icebreaker, yeah.
That's 4 to 6 minutes.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what I said,
Yep.
4 to 6 minutes, I will flip the card.
And then Alexi's is 5 to 7, right?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
Very good. All right, next I'll invite up Dan Wynn.
Okay.
He's gonna be our all-counter.
Hi, good evening, my dear Toastmasters. Today I'm a R counter, and the R counter, taking this role, I want to improve my observation and the listening skills. The purpose of the R counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as a crunch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. So good luck. I try. Oh, by the way, if you use the crunch words more than 5 times, I will count it. Right? Okay. Thank you.
And next, we have our grammarian, which will be Melissa. You can come on up.
All right, well, this is my first time, so be kind. I'm not gonna be looking for misuse of words or phrases. I'm gonna be looking for things that stand out and maybe illustrate your story or your speech in a way that really makes everybody listen, is engaging. And the word of the day, bailiwick. That's gonna be your domain or sphere in which you have superior knowledge or authorities, and that's why earlier I said dressage and education are my bailiwick, they're my areas of expertise. Ray's area of expertise or his bailiwick would be real estate. I'll be looking for those words as well.
Excellent.
Nice.
And our general evaluator will be Alex. Alex, come on up, please.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'll be the general evaluator for tonight. I'll basically just be keeping track of the flow of the meeting, making sure the tech is good. I'll be keeping an eye on what we could work on, what we did good, and then making sure we end on time. And then at the end of the meeting, I'll report back on how we all did. And just a heads up too, if you get onto Trello and you sign up, like for the timer example, you just click on the timer and it'll show like the description of what the timer is, or the general evaluator, and it definitely helped me out in the beginning when I first started. So I actually memorized the whole timer thing, that's why I knew it, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, we'll have our first speech come up. Wade? No?
Yeah, I forgot. So as most of you know, we evaluate each speaker after they speak. We use a QR code that links to a Google form. So if anybody, we want to get that loaded up before they speak. Does anybody need this QR code for the Google form? It's the top QR code.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess we're allowed to, top one.
Okay.
And then after the speech, we, a minute or two to just type in a few, feedback from the speaker.
Does pretty much everyone do that, or is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, including guests.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'd like to invite Wade up.
Yep.
For her icebreaker speech.
Sure.
Welcome, Wade.
Thank you. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, in the Western society, most people ask a question to break the ice or to get to know someone. What do you do? If I were to strip my labels, titles, my name, and get rid of everything I own, everything, and you do the same, I feel the only difference between you and me is our personal mind. My personal mind is based on what I've done in the past, my experience, what I know about myself, about the world, what I've heard from other people, what I learned from other people. So I would like to share 3 inflection points in my life that formed my personal mind and that shaped who I am today, as a way for you to know the real me. The first inflection point, I remember this day was very gloomy and I was really down. And I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and I said, Jerry, I don't feel loved. And she paused and she said in a very quiet, kind voice, way, love is bigger than you. It's bigger than any of us. You don't have to do anything to earn it. And it's everywhere. And here's the kicker for me. You can't miss it. I'm like, wow. In that moment, I realized everything I've done in my life, chasing the wrong things for love, for acceptance, for belonging, I was doing it all wrong. All those emotions and feelings that I really wanted, they're already inside of me. And from that moment on, my interaction with the world changed. I don't do what society deems as a success. I do what feels right for me and what's meaningful for me. A second inflection point. I heard this lady recently being interviewed on a podcast, and she was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 22. She's now in her 40s, and the leukemia came back. Her doctor told her that she has to be in treatment for the rest of her life. And basically, she lives day to day. And she shared that she does not live her day as if it's the last day of her life. She lives her day as the first day of her life. That gave me goosebumps. I really resonate with that. If I'm lucky enough, I get to wake up with immense gratitude for another opportunity to really be me, be around the people I love, to be fully engaged in the world. I get to sit on my mat and meditate. I get to write my journal, all of my hopes, my fears, my dreams. I get to go out in nature. I get to fight with my husband. I have someone to fight with. I try to not take anything for granted. Last inflection point, my yoga teacher told me a long time ago, go out and say hi to someone who is overlooked by society. That has been my guidepost for a long time. People talk about leaving a legacy. I never understood what that meant. But for me, if I can just sit down and talk to people who don't feel they're seen, have a conversation, get to know them. And by the end of the conversation, they can leave and feel that they're loved, that they are seen, that they're fully accepted for who they are. I think that's a great conversation. It's an amazing day. I don't want to know what you do. I want to know, what are you interested in? What fascinates you?
Wow, great speech. Ready? And now we'll have speech number 2, Alexi. Oh yeah, please, let's do the feedback first.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so use that Google form. We'll take a minute or two to provide Wei with some feedback, just observations of her speech, what you liked, what you might ask her to consider working on next time.
In the feedback doc, it says speaker number 1,
Yeah.
speaker number 2.
Yeah.
Do we just do speaker number 1 and submit it for now? Or just
Alexi
wait?
be speaker number 2. So after Alexi, then you hit submit.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Another minute? Okay, I'd like to invite Alexi.
Hello, Toastmasters. Before we start the talk, this is my first speech. Just started. Before you guys can.
Wow.
So that was a bit me, just last minute kind of joined the club for today's speech. Topic of the speech, future of computing. And just, yeah, software engineers, if you left to the end, with the 7 minutes that we have. Past presentation mastery, speech type, speech with a purpose. I would like to talk today about the future of computers and computing power. The reason is lots of modern day tasks really important for us on our existence depends on the computing power and how much progress we can make in that area. If you go back in time, first mechanical calculators were created in the 19th century, and that was pretty much a revolution in computation power. So banking systems started using it over time for business calculations. So simple operations became not that complicated as before, and everything was made just by hand, manually. And pretty much it's existed through the 20th century. Actually, in my age, I still remember these mechanical calculators, logarithmic calculators. Quite complicated in use, yeah, but it worked. And next step, probably the invention of transistors, right, by the World War II, brought beginning to invention of computers. First computers were created in the United States and America through World War II for national security reasons. It allowed to break German encryption codes that was considered not pretty much destructible before. From that started new era of computers. So transistors over time turned into electronic devices, integrated circuits, from first pretty bulky devices, which transistor is a device has only two states, 1, 0, open and closed circuits. Or it allowed to build computer system which is really complicated, and nowadays we have from microcontrollers and either cell phone or any home device up to supercomputers for complicated calculations, financial, scientific, medical research, you name it. Space technology cannot be done nowadays without the supercomputer power. The progress made is just significant, just gigantic. However, honestly, and this is not my lyric, however, I just try to summarize what I read on the matter, and what I heard, and what I watched from different sources. The next step is probably quantum computers, which is right now a hot topic in development, and in general, computation based on quantum mechanics, quantum computers. What's the difference? Our traditional computing systems nowadays based on binary system, 1 or 0, yes or no, or high voltage, open closed circuit. Decisions are made based on sequence of conclusions, it is then that, and it's not that, then that, etc. These modern supercomputers making millions and more operations a second, it's still not sufficient for certain tasks which quite around us. Basic human cell is super complicated system. Our just brain, each of us has it, right? The billions and billions and neural connections inside. It's impossible to model it using modern nowadays computers. Any kind of a living organism pretty much is a quantum computer system on its own. Any plant, for example. We cannot nowadays model these systems yet. It's too complicated. Interestingly enough, social structure on a large scale in one of this type of objects. And the main difference with all our sequential logic is when all elements of such systems depend on other elements and cause changes in other elements. As a result, we cannot draw just simple sequence of events. And by the way, according to multiple researchers in that area, this is the reason why periodically we have all kinds of social disasters and catastrophes, like revolutions. The reason is social societies on a big scale are too unpredictable, and it's a living organism on its own. just to name a few. Another big ambitious task is the modeling of the universe. Right now, just impossible numbers out there. The outer space is just too big for our logic, our regular logic. It's beyond our logic. Our new approach and the idea of supercomputers possibly will allow us to resolve maybe not all of those ambitious tasks, but at least part of them. Quantum computers are based on, computer power is based on electrons, which in infinite number of states simultaneously. The problem technological, so the technological side requires really extra low temperatures close to absolute zero, which makes it extremely complicated. And second, algorithm, there is no really base how to use it, how it's supposed to be used. There are already working models. IBM developed one, Google is working on a model. China announced quantum computing as a national priority. Technically, as in the Cold War, we have competition of systems for computing power. So if this problem is resolved one day, lots of tasks that are now considered unsolvable, like unlimited sources of energy, would be resolved, or possibly resolved. Medical researchers can achieve unbelievable results, not possible nowadays. And many other areas. Modeling of universe, that would be wonderful, just to know what we are, where we are. Thank you very much. The future is bright, hopefully. And with new technologies, yeah, we hope we solve all these problems existing today. In energy, social disasters, and medical research, Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Alexei. Take a couple minutes, provide some feedback. For 30 seconds. Yeah, I would like to invite up Carl for table topics. Yeah, he's online. Oh, he is, okay.
Very good. All right. We have some interesting subjects on the table topics here. And I think we're going to have some intelligent responses. Now, I think that this is a very, very good one here. Imagine that in the middle of the night, George Washington stood by your bedside and said, you know, I've been turning over in my grave, wondering what is going on in the world. So much turmoil up there. And you've got 2 minutes to tell me what has really happened in the world. And then I have to return to the grave. So what would you tell him about how the world has changed? It could be anything sociological, it could be scientific progress, it could whatever you want to say in that brief period of time. And
Okay,
let's see, who would like to volunteer for this?
Yeah, just a second, Carl. So table topics is an opportunity for anyone, guests or members, to get up and speak. Carl
Yep.
Has introduced a question. There's no right or wrong answer. This is just an opportunity to work on our impromptu speaking skills, okay? So guests are welcome to speak, or anyone who feels like they'd like to take a crack at the podium. Carl, I was writing down when you were talking, who are we talking to? Who's the,
Yeah, well, anyway,
George Washington.
thanks,
Okay.
Tom.
Okay.
I can't see you,
So-
but thanks for explaining that. I should have explained for the new and the guest and the new person. It is George Washington who has risen from the grave and is visiting you, and he's wondering what in the world is going on up there. He's turning over in his grave because there's so much turmoil. And you've got a couple of minutes just to explain to him and outline what has become of the world. It could be anything, sociological, it could be scientific, technological, whatever it is. You want to let him be satisfied and go back to the grave. So what would you tell him about how the world has changed in such a brief summary?
That's to be 1 or 2 minutes. So any volunteers? 1 to 2 minutes.
You want a very short amount of time to explain what's happening in the world.
Well, that's up to you to how you summarize that. Any volunteers?
Everybody has their head down, Carl.
Yes, I see that, and I cannot see everybody in the room. I hear voices that are out of sight of the camera, but I see Melissa sitting there. Perhaps as a new member, you would like to give it a try?
You're really the newest one.
You can't go with the newest person do this?
Yeah, all right.
Come on, we like that.
Okay, that is new. Okay, I'm gonna give you time, huh?
You'll do great. You
Okay.
have 30 seconds to think. Then
Okay, I do. Okay, well, okay. George Washington. I think what's happened in the last decade at least, a portion of it has to do with really big advances in technology, and that really changed the way people see each other. And one part of that is social media and media in general. So right now what's happening is this new format in which people are interacting with each other in a way where now we're having problems with that interaction becoming a little too toxic or becoming too extreme in some levels, and there's not a real good mechanism thought out to figure out how to filter out the noise and actually get to the truth of what's actually happening in the world sometimes. So I think that's definitely one part of it. Other parts of it is, I think politics has a lot to do with it. The fact that the U.S. has been the world power for the last centuries, which George Washington would be proud of in some level, but I think it also be very worrying in that there's some things that have happened that makes other people believe that the U.S. is controlling them in some level in a way where that's not good for them. Some things that U.S. has promoted, like democracy, for example, is sometimes looked at negatively these days in many parts of the world, which is not great, which causes a lot of issues. There's also a lot of theocracies, a lot of countries that kind of claim to be democracies that are attempting to keep control in the world, and there's a lot of extremism as a result of all that. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't know how else to explain what's happening these days. So.
Excellent.
Very good, Ivan.
What's the name?
Ivan.
Iman.
Oh, Iman.
Ivan,
Yeah.
Ivan,
Thank you, Iman.
thank you very much. Okay,
Can we
we,
give him a couple minutes to evaluate?
No, who's up next? Another volunteer.
Next question.
Oh.
Yes.
Next question, another volunteer, yeah.
no, I have another question, which might be,
Oh, go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
we could have the same question if, we could have
No, no,
that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Imagine you're at a convention of the Needy Nudist Network. And you are the Toastmaster introducing the speaker who is the chairman of the Needy Nudist Network. You can assume it's a clothing optional convention. How would you introduce this chairman? Any volunteers?
Can he tell?
Ray, would you as Toastmaster draft somebody?
Carl, explain the Needy Nudists, explain who that is or what that is.
Well, it's a worldwide network of nudists, and they have a big
Okay.
convention.
Gotcha.
And you are
Right.
the Toastmaster introducing the welcoming speech of the chairman of this organization. So what would you have, what would you say as Toastmaster introducing this guy or woman?
It's a guy, okay.
It's a guy.
Give us a hint. It's a guy.
Or woman. Or woman.
Okay, so Dan Wynn, are you volunteering? I can't tell.
I totally don't understand
Okay.
question.
Son Haqua, do you want to take a crack at this?
Volunteer?
Do you want to volunteer for this?
No way.
No?
Oh.
No?
I will be.
Yeah, very good.
The chairman is a man sit on a chair. So Washington makes the chair is not uncomfortable. So people cannot sit too long. So the chairman can change one time about 4 years, change one time. So in other countries, the chair is very comfortable. Like Russia, you cannot they want to take the chair too long. So this is Washington contribution for the society, very important.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Well, there was a man with courage, Sanhua. Thank you.
Yeah. We have time for one more. Go ahead, Carl. Do you have another question, Carl?
Yes, I do. And this one is
Go
really
ahead.
very easy.
All right.
Tell us about your
Oh.
ancestors. Yes, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Tell us about your ancestors or family and how they came to this country, or any other stories about your ancestors.
Do that one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Carl. It's an easier one for us. Yeah, my father came here when he was 16 years old from Germany, and he was born in 1942. So he came after, he escaped the Russian sector of Germany, right? And before the wall went up, and hitchhiked or rode his bike to England and got a few miscellaneous jobs there. And then he got a job on a boat peeling potatoes. And he left his mom and his sister in Germany. He didn't know how to speak English. He had no money. And he got on a boat and peeled potatoes for the cook and made his way to Canada. And had got some jobs there. And his dream was always to go to San Francisco and be a cowboy. So he saved up his money in Canada and hitchhiked all the way to San Francisco, and here we are today. Thank you. Did you become a cowboy?
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. So go back to the Google form, and we want to hit submit on the speaker feedback, and that'll take you to the second page of the form, which is table topics winner. So we had 3 table topics participants tonight: Iman, Sunqua, and Ray. Just type in your favorite table topics contestant tonight, and then hit submit. Make sure you hit submit.
E-I-M-E-N. E-I-M-A-N, yeah. Thanks. Thanks for the vote.
M-A-N.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, and before we introduce me to do the evaluation, I need, Chris tabulates our table topics, so I'm sending him a text right now. He's not here tonight. And make sure you hit submit, otherwise we can't tabulate the votes. Okay.
A question.
Yeah.
Are the main speeches and like the icebreaker speeches everyone does, is this based on a certain topic previously requested? Or is it something that you can do whatever you like?
We have a curriculum called Pathways, and each pathway speech is a certain purpose to it. So Wei gave her icebreaker speech tonight. That's the speech number 1 that we all give.
I see.
And it's a 4 to 6 minute speech that introduces yourself to the club. You can talk about any part of your life, anything that's important to you, young or old, anything in between. Every speech after that has a particular purpose, like vocal variety or styles of communication, and you somehow create your own speech, but with that purpose in mind. So there is some structure.
Good.
Having said that, you can also give speeches that are non-pathways. If you're like preparing for an important meeting or something and you want to try out your speech, or you just something interesting you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the one I'm going to give on speaking as a superpower, that's off pathways. So you can do pathway speeches. We encourage you to do that, but occasionally you can do non-pathway speeches.
Okay, cool.
So there's some curriculum. And every week the speakers change. So Wei was the speaker tonight. Next week we'll have 3 speakers, different speakers, and all these roles are filled by different people from week to week. So you can take a small role or a big role depending on how you want to participate.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to invite Tom up.
Okay.
This is number 1 evaluator.
Thank you, Ray. Hey, congratulations on your icebreaker speech. You know, I specifically signed up to evaluate the icebreaker speech tonight because normally I have a lot to work with when someone gives their first speech. Your speech was so good. Yeah, I only have really positive things to say about it. I had to really challenge myself to come up with a few things to even point out to you. So, first of all, thank you for being so open with us with your speech. Made a very personal speech, and it resonated really well with the group. I thought your speech was powerful. I thought it was very well organized. I could tell you put a lot of thought into it, and so. As an audience member, I always appreciate when a speaker, I can tell when a speaker has put a lot of thought into their speech, so thank you for doing that. Very well organized. I really like how at the introduction you told us you were about the personal mind and the 3 inflection points that you were going to talk to us tonight about, and then you walked us through it, 1, 2, and 3, so we knew exactly where you were going with your speech. In terms of your performance, your delivery was really good. The eye contact was perfect. You kept looking around the room. Your pausing and pacing really made it powerful and dramatic. You know, normally when a speaker comes up here to give their icebreaker speech, they just want to get it done and they just race through the speech. But you were so calm and poised, and you just took your time the whole way through, and didn't even, as you got to the end, you even slowed up more. You didn't pick up the pace just to get done with it. So pacing was perfect. And for this type of speech, which is more of a personal speech, that slow pacing and the pausing is really important. So well done there. Very authentic with your delivery as well, and you smiled a lot. And so that resonates with an audience as well. And no notes either. I commend you on that. Most of the time when we give our icebreaker speech, we come up here with some notes. So again, preparation. areas of improvement. I had to struggle, to be honest. So one thing I thought of was your speech had a very serious tone to it. At least that's how I was perceiving it. And I would encourage you to maybe turn up the enthusiasm just a notch or two, okay? I'm not saying be up here like a cheerleader, because the subject matter of the speech doesn't lend itself to that. But it had a very serious tone to it, and I don't know if that was your intent. So if you wanted to lighten it up a little bit, think about that as a way of improving. You did add some humor, talking about Daryl, right? That was nice. You got a little bit of a laugh. Also, I wrote down that your conclusion was a little short. All of a sudden, we were done. And so I wrote that down, but then as I was thinking about it some more, I thought it was warranted perfectly for this type of speech. You know, it's sort of a drop the mic moment. And in the future, pay attention to the conclusion. I think tonight's was just right, but sometimes you want to elaborate a little more as to where you took us during that speech, okay? And lastly, maybe just a little bit more on the hand gestures. You tended to have your hands here a lot, but you did open them up a bit. But try and maybe, I would encourage you to maybe use a little more hand gestures if I want to get nitpicky about it. But otherwise, fantastic job. Daryl, you have some competition in the house. You're first with the icebreaker speech, so well done. I look forward to your future speeches.
Thank you, Tom. And I'd like to invite Daryl now to evaluate speech number 2.
Alexi, great speech. I believe you said this was one of your first speeches? This club, or one of your early speeches?
Fourth.
Or the last minute speech?
Last
You
minute.
mentioned, yes. So thank you for sharing that with us. And the future of computing power, so I actually enjoyed the way you brought us through the evolution of computing power, you know, from calculators, and I think you even talked about logarithmic calculators and how that evolved up to computers and supercomputers. So I like that. I was a computer science major, but I've been away from that for a long time, so it was good to hear that. And what I was really interested in is where we were going, and you did get to that point, and sharing with us what the computing power is going to be able to do in the future. And a couple points I did learn, I didn't realize for quantum computing. I'm not familiar with quantum computing, but you had mentioned that one of the requirements for quantum computing are low temperatures, close to absolute zero. I had no idea about that. But once that gets online, we're going to be able to solve a lot of problems going forward, you know, social problems, medical issues, that sort of stuff. I thought you did great. You had a very good knowledge of the subject matter, and the only things I can think of, only recommendations I could think of, which I'm trying to solve for myself, so this is why I can relate to it, but your pacing, maybe try to slow it down a little bit, because I know when I get up here, as I'm probably doing right now, I just try to get from here to sitting in my seat as quickly as possible. And it can be a challenge when you're standing here in front of a lot of people trying to slow down a little bit like that. But that's something I would recommend playing with in the future, once you feel more comfortable with that. And then eye contact. Sometimes eye contact was great. I saw you making eye contact with everyone, but then sometimes you would look down for a little while. Yeah, but I think that's because you were thinking of what you wanted to say next. But overall, I think you did a great job. I think those would be probably the two top recommendations I would have. And the other one, potentially, if you want to play with it, this would be, once you feel comfortable with everything else, is vocal variety and hand gestures. So, because when you first get up here, it's hard to do any of that sort of stuff. But even, you know, changing your pacing with vocal variety, so sometimes speaking a little low, sometimes speaking a little louder. So overall, though, great job. Thank you for sharing that with us. I found the topic to be fascinating, and look forward to hearing future speeches from you. Thanks.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Daryl, for that valuable feedback. And now we'll move on to the functionary reports. I'm going to invite up Rhea. Excuse me. That's our timer.
Hi, dear Toastmasters. I think everybody is doing great job of your timer. The first one, the way you speak is so attached, it's wonderful speak. So the timer is 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Maybe it can be a little bit longer. Second one, Alex, is 6 minutes, 53 seconds, perfect time.
Good job.
And Tom, as validator, is 3 minutes, 41 seconds. And Daryl, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. And we are guys, table topic, Emma,
Ema,
the 1 minute, 50 seconds. Suhua is 43 seconds. Then I think I covered everybody. Yes. I didn't count you, I don't know how to count you every time you speak.
No,
The
just.
topic is speaker, yes.
For the table topic. Sorry, I forgot, maybe you did too good.
Right on time.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Gabrielle.
Oh, right, yes, I did. 59 seconds.
Okay.
Yay.
What's it supposed to be?
It's 1 to 2
1.
minutes.
1 to 2, okay.
1 to 2 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
I
you.
did, yes.
And now Dan Nguyen, the all counter?
And my dear Toastmasters, tonight the job is super easy. For first speech is Wei, you did perfect job. I didn't count anyone, 0, perfect. And then for the Alex, yeah, I think you did the job too, almost less than 5. So perfect. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Dan. And now I'll invite up our grammarian, Melissa. Come on up.
Actually kind of fun being grammarian, because I'm really looking for phrases that stand out, and so adds another layer to my focus on the speeches. So, starting with Wei, you did the first speech. You had a lot of really cool quotes already, there you are. I really enjoyed how you had quotes in almost every, I think all 3 of your points. Some that stood out were when you said, everything I ever wanted is inside of me. Live each day as though it's your first. And finally, I don't want to know what you do, I want to know what interests you. Those were really profound quotes that I heard in your speech. Alexi, you said, you used bailiwick, and clearly your speech was in your bailiwick, because for me it was a lot of new information. So it was hard to grab quotes from yours, but you had a wealth of knowledge, clearly. Let's see. Oh, and I loved how you ended yours. You said the future is bright, hopefully. So I like that little bit of humor. And let's see. Alex, you started us off, and I don't know if it's my job to share a quote from you, but I did like your opener when you said it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit, and then when you get up. Kind of set a nice tone for everybody. And I think, Alexi, you were the only one that used our word of the day, unless someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, well.
You did.
And then I'm a little biased, but when Ray did his table topic, I loved your kind of silly sentence when you said his dream was to go to San Francisco and be a cowboy, because San Francisco's obviously not where one would be a cowboy. So I like that part. Okay, that's everything for me, yeah?
Just a question.
Yeah.
As a teacher, any grammar mistakes in speeches, if you can?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but I really focused on just the
that's
things
it.
that would stand out, so I apologize.
Oh, no.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Okay, and lastly, our general evaluator, Alex, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and hello again, fellow Toastmasters. I'll be kicking it off with the tech. I got here about 30 minutes early. I had Tom helping me out, so I feel we didn't have any issues with the tech. It ran pretty smoothly. We started a little late. We could probably fix that next time. It was kind of a different meeting this time. We had a few slots that needed to be filled, so, I mean, That's all right. Ray, great job, by the way, for jumping in as a first-time Toastmaster. I think you did a great job, and I think that's how you get better each time.
Thank
So,
you.
Again, good job. Way, powerful, powerful icebreaker speech. I felt that in my heart, like, really. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to more of your speeches in the near future. Alexi, core speech, you're coming in hot. It's inspiring. It's good stuff. You remind me of Chirag, because that's what he does, and he's doing like Toastmaster International stuff right now, so I think he's on a vacation for Toastmasters or something like that. But, Iman, Sanqua, and again, Ray, great job on the table topics. Tom, you could totally tell you've been here for multiple years. You're a polished evaluator, polished speaker, and just in general for, guiding the ship. Thank you. Appreciate it. Daryl, well done. Come join us. I think you'd be a great part of our team, our family. And with that, all in all, I think we're going to end on time. And
No.
oh, thank you. With that, here's our Toastmaster.
All right, and we conclude our meeting.
Back over to the president.
Oh, okay. Thanks, our president.
Then I'll conclude it, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, great meeting tonight. Our table topics winner tonight was Ray. Oh, wow.
How'd you do it?
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, just speaking the truth.
There you go.
Yeah, so thank you guys, appreciate that.
Yeah, great job. And great job as filling Toastmaster tonight.
Yeah.
Wasn't that hard, was it?
No, it was fun.
Yeah. It's my favorite role, because you can just sort of wing it and have fun with it. Yeah, so good job. Like I said, nobody here writes for free. Majis, you have not said anything. Come up here, sign. Everybody speaks. Everybody speaks. Now, Majis is one of our newest members. He's been out for a few weeks. Good to see you again.
Welcome.
So you were out a few weeks. You have a story you want to share with our group? What would you like to say?
Sure, like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hello and good evening, fellow Toastmaster. This is my third week to Toastmaster, and I had to absent for 2 weeks. The reason is that I was taking a aerospace standard class, which is AS 9100. Good thing is that out of 800 to 900 people in company, I got selected to become a AS 9100 lead auditor. That was a little hard. I think one of the hardest exams that I have ever taken. Yes, that's all for today.
So explain to us, what is that? You're giving us these numbers, but in layman's terms, what does that mean? Your role.
My role,
Or specialty.
9001.
okay, 9001, yes, 9001. My role is that I'm a quality senior supervisor.
Quality.
Quality supervisor.
Okay.
And we manufacture our wire and harnesses, and we are dealing with very fancy, or I would say valuable something like Tesla, SpaceX, and all those fancy companies. Yes.
Very nice. So,
I'm really enjoying it.
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. And with that, I have nothing else to say. We're out of here. Thank you.
Bye, Carl.
Bye.